I'm going to share a special book with you today. This is The Three Little Pigs, and it's the exact book of The Three Little Pigs that I grew up with. So it's a very old version. Illustrations by Suzanne. Once upon a time, there were three little pigs. The first little pig liked to jig. The second little pig hopped, skipped, and jumped, and the third little pig marched briskly. One day they decided to seek their fortunes in the big, wide world. Down the road they went, and soon they met a man carrying a load of straw. "Please," said the first little pig, "will you sell me your straw so I can build a house? I'm tired of jigging." "Yes, indeed," said the man. So the little pig took the straw. Quickly he built his house. Then he went inside to take a nap. He had just gone to sleep when along came a hungry wolf. He knocked on the door. Little pig, he called, "let me come in." "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin," said the sleepy little pig. "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in," warned the wolf. So the wolf huffed and puffed, and he blew the house in. He ate up the first little pig. Meanwhile, the other two little pigs met an old man carrying twigs. "Please," said the second little pig, "will you sell me your twigs so I can build a house? I'm tired of hopping and skipping and jumping." "Of course," said the old man. So the little pig took the twigs. Quickly he built his house. Then he went inside. He was eating his dinner when along came the wolf. Little pig, called the wolf, "let me come in." "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin," answered the little pig. "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in," roared the hungry wolf. So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed until the little twig house tumbled down. Then he ate up the second little pig. As the third little pig marched along, he met a man carrying bricks. "Please," said the little pig, "will you sell me your bricks so I can build a house? I'm very tired from marching so far." "Why, certainly," said the man. The little pig took the bricks. He built 4 sturdy walls. He made a fine, big fireplace, built a strong roof, and then stood back to admire his house. Suddenly he saw the wolf coming. Quickly he ran into his house and locked the door. Little pig, let me come in," panted the wolf, who was out of breath from running. "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin," answered the little pig. "When I get my breath," roared the wolf, "I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." So he rested a bit, and then he huffed and puffed and puffed and huffed, but he could not blow down the snug little house. Then he had an idea. "Little pig," he called softly, "come with me tomorrow at 7 o'clock and I'll show you some fine turnips." "I'd like that," replied the little pig, smiling to himself. The next morning he got up at 6 o'clock and hurried to the turnip field. He was back home before the wolf was out of bed. When the wolf came by, he smelled the turnips cooking, and he knew he had been tricked. He wanted to howl and growl, but instead he said softly, "Little pig, tomorrow at 6 I'm going to pick apples. Will you come with me?" "I'd like that," said the little pig. But the next morning he got up at 5 o'clock. He picked a big basket of apples. He had apple pie in the oven baking when the wolf came by. When the wolf smelled the delicious pie baking, he wanted to howl and growl. But again he spoke softly, "Little pig, tomorrow I will call for you at 5 o'clock. We will go to the fair." "That sounds like fun," said the little pig. "Thank you." But the next day he was on his way by 4 o'clock. He had a fine time at the fair. Before he started home, he bought a butter churn. As he walked along, he saw the wolf coming up the hill. Quick as a wink, the smart little pig jumped into the churn and rolled thumpity-thump down the hill past the wolf. The wolf growled and raced after the churn. The little pig rolled to his jaw, jumped out of the The little pig rolled to his door, jumped out of the churn, and ran inside. The wolf pounded on the door, shouting, "You've fooled me for the last time, little pig. I will come down the chimney and eat you up." While the wolf was climbing up onto the roof, the little pig whisked over to the fireplace. He took the lid off a kettle of boiling water. Down the chimney came the wolf, right into the kettle. Pop went the lid. Then the little pig sat down in his snug little house. He chuckled to himself, "Little Mr. Wolf, by the hair of my chinny chin chin, you did get in, and you'll never bother me again." And that was my very old book of The 3 Little Pigs.